Think about that grudge you're still holding. Not the small stuff, not something somebody said about you on Facebook. I'm talking about the real one. The broken promise, the business partnership that started out so well and then went south. The family dispute over money, the person who cheated on you, that line that was crossed, the thing you replay years later and still feel justified about. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. That grudge isn't hurting them anymore. It's hurting you right now. For years, we heard the old saying that holding a grudge is like drinking poison and then waiting for the other person to die. Well, while it might sound clever or maybe exaggerated a little bit, as it turns out, it's not a metaphor. It's literal. Science now shows that unresolved resentment quietly damages your mind, your body, and your relationships, often without you even realizing it. And if you're over 50 or 67 like me, the price you're paying matters now more than ever. So let's talk about the real cost and how to put that weight down. Hi, if we've never met, my name is Mike Sabatini, and I really appreciate you being here today. When you've been deeply hurt, holding a grudge can feel like a shield. It might even give you a sense of moral superiority, but that feeling is a trap. And while you're busy guarding a past injury, that grudge is quietly sabotaging your present. Let's break down the 3 hidden costs you're paying every single day. First of all, the most immediate cost is to your mind. Holding a grudge isn't a passive act. You have to work at it. It's an active, draining job. You're forced to replay a painful memory over and over and over. And every time you stew over that betrayal, your brain can't distinguish the memory and a present moment threat. This means your body relives the stress, the anger, and the hurt as if it's all happening again right now, even though it really isn't. The process creates a state of chronic stress, keeping your brain's fear center on constant high alert. And this leads to that persistent low-grade anxiety you just can't seem to shake. You just don't feel like yourself. The mental energy you burn nursing that resentment is precious energy you can't use for anything else, for creativity or problem solving or just being present with the people who love you right now. Over time, research has shown that long-term hostility and mistrust are linked to a greater risk of cognitive decline as you get older. That grudge isn't just keeping you stuck in the past. It's actively making it harder for your brain to function here in the present. The second cost is what this emotional state does to your physical body. That chronic mental stress from replaying the grudge floods your system with hormones like cortisol. You may have heard of cortisol. In short bursts, it's useful for fight or flight response. But when it's consistently high because you're in a constant state of resentment, it's devastating. It acts like a slow drip poison, contributing to a long list of physical problems. And studies directly link holding grudges and chronic anger to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and a suppressed immune system. Research from institutions like Johns Hopkins Medicine confirms that the physical burden of being hurt is enormous, but the act of forgiveness can lead to measurable health benefits. The person who wronged you is out there living their life, probably not even giving you a second thought, while you're running around carrying a physical burden that is literally making you sick. This isn't fringe research or something they said. It comes from mainstream institutions and long-standing studies in stress physiology and health psychology. The third cost is the collateral damage to your relationships. You see, a grudge is never just about you and that one person. It's more like a dye dropped in water. And it poisons your interactions with everyone else. You can become more cynical, withdrawn, and less trusting of new people, the people who are in your life right now. And this can make friends and family feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you, afraid they'll be the next ones that you cut off for a perceived slight. You get trapped in a brutal loop. The grudge makes you feel isolated, and then the isolation makes the grudge feel even more justified. It robs you of the ability to be fully present. How can you enjoy a laugh with your partner or significant other, or time with your kids in a quiet moment, when part of you is reliving something that happened years ago and, quite frankly, completely irrelevant? So, after hearing all of this, the mental, the physical, and the relationship damage, you have to ask yourself a tough question. Is it worth it? Is the satisfaction of being right worth the price that your life is paying? I would say no. And I think most people would say no. So here's the turning point. This is where we stop talking about the cost and start talking about the cure. Letting go isn't about condoning what the other person did or pretending it didn't hurt. And it's absolutely not a gift to that person who wronged you. Rather, forgiveness is an act of radical self-preservation. It's you finally deciding to put down the poison. Letting go of a grudge isn't a switch you can flip. It's really a skill you develop. And here are 3 practical steps to start the process and reclaim your peace. Step 1 is acknowledge the pain without judgment. First, you must give yourself permission to feel exactly how much it hurt. Useless advice like, oh, just get over it, grow up. None of that works because it invalidates the real pain. Real release begins with validation. So, find a quiet place and either say out loud or write down, I'm angry. I'm angry that I was betrayed. I feel hurt because my trust was broken. Don't judge the feeling or tell yourself you should be over this by now. Just let it exist. By giving your pain a voice, you stop it from festering in the darkness and begin to rob it of its power. Step 2 is reframe the narrative from victim to survivor. Right now, the grudge has cast you in a story where you're the victim, a powerless role that keeps you chained to the past. It's time to rewrite your part in that story moving forward. So ask yourself one game-changing question. What did this experience teach me that I can use to protect myself in the future? Maybe it taught you the importance of setting stronger boundaries. Or maybe it taught you to be a better communicator, not bottle things up and get it out there. That's really critical. I've been fighting that for most of my life. Perhaps it showed you that expressing your feelings instead of bottling them up is a much better path. Maybe it showed you your own incredible resilience by shifting your focus from what they did to you to what I learned for myself. You can transform from a passive victim to an active survivor. Let's face it, no matter how hard you want to, you can't change the past. But you have 100% control over the meaning you assign to it and the amount of energy you give it. Step 3 is a symbolic act of letting go. Because grudges tend to loop in our minds, a physical action can help interrupt that cycle and create a clear sense of closure. A friend of mine suggested this, and I like it because it's simple and straightforward act of affirmation. Take a piece of paper and write it all down, everything. The person's name, what happened, exactly how it made you feel. Don't edit it. Don't sugarcoat it. Because the goal here is to get it out of your head and onto something external, the paper. Now, once you have it written, get rid of it. Tear it up. Burn it. Throw it away. Run it over with your car. Discard it in whatever way makes it feel right for you. The point isn't symbolism, really. It's giving your brain a clear signal that this story no longer needs to be replayed. As you do it, say something simple and direct, like, I'm done carrying this. I'm over it. That small physical act creates a stopping point, a moment your mind and body recognize as closure. Not because the past changed, but because you decided it no longer gets space in your present. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is an immediate fix, but it is a starting point. It's a powerful first step in releasing. The true cost of a grudge is your own life. It costs your peace of mind, your physical health, and your daily joy. But you have the power to cancel that debt starting today. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. Quite the contrary. It's the ultimate act of strength. It's you deciding that your future is far more important than your past. You deserve to be free. I'm genuinely interested to hear your stories. What has been your experience with letting go of a grudge? Were you even able to do it? It's not easy. It really isn't easy because it might be something that you've been carrying around with you for a long time. You might have made it feel that that's normal. But share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might just be the one that someone else needs to hear to start their own journey toward freedom. Now, I invite you to like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you, friends, and we will talk again soon.